The man was very sad, but he waited patiently for his friend to find yet another suitor, which he did, and he placed her in the groom's chambers. This time, leaving the door open just so again, and placing the stone in front. This time, when he looked in, he saw the most exotic creature. She was dressed in silks. Her hair was loosely tousled about her shoulders with ribbons in it. She was dancing a very seductive dance to a tune that sounded very familiar. Somewhere haunting his memory, he knew the song, but he couldn't figure out where he knew it from. She danced a seductive dance that all women dance for men, and the room was filled with incense. The candelabra would shine lights through the silks, show her feminine form, and he grew in passion and knew that he wanted this woman for sure to be his wife, and so he began with all of his might to move the stone. But it wouldn't move. Again, his friend told the village there would be no ceremony. This is not the one either. The groom was very disappointed. He was so impassioned by this woman. He left despondent and alone and waited for yet a third choice to be found. Sure enough, time came where his friend found a third choice and placed her in the chamber with the door ajar and the stone placed in front of the door. The groom looked in, and what did he behold but a simple country maiden. Her hair was up in a bun underneath a bonnet, simple cotton dress. She sat at a spinning wheel, working with her hands. He looked upon her and saw that her eyes were all smile, as was her mouth. Very lovely girl, modest in every way. And he thought, now this really, truly is what a man needs. He needs a maid to keep at home. This is the woman that I want. And so he again began to move the stone. Maybe more this time than the others. But he couldn't. Then he noticed that she was singing the same song. Suddenly he realized that it was a song that he had heard from a little girl when he was just a boy, as they used to dance through the fields on the edge of town, gathering wildflowers, skipping and dancing through the meadows, laughing. Then he realized that all three women had been singing the same song. He looked in her eyes, so kind, so loving, and smiling, laughing. He realized in an instant that all three were the same woman. And now he knew with his whole being that this was the one. So he began as hard as he could to move that stone. And it wouldn't move. His friend was amazed that he had figured the puzzle out, and yet it wouldn't move. The stone wouldn't move. Inside, the girl stood up from the spinning wheel and came towards the door, smiling and humming her song. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. She came forward to the door and was slender enough that she was able to squeeze through. She stood there before him, smiling with her eyes, and said simply, "Let me help you." She put her hands to his hands, and together they were able to push the stone aside. His friend called out, "Let the celebration begin." And there was ringing of bells, and all the townspeople came together, and there was a great ceremony, and they were wed. He had found his betrothed, the one that God had intended. She likewise, in her life, had found the man for her. But then the lesson really began, for they had to begin the journey of marriage. This meant learning day by day how important it was to put their hands into each other's, that they could move the stones from the doors of life. All the best, you guys. Farewell.